And I'm back because I haven't been here for a few days and I'm trying to get more comfortable with doing this stuff. So I appreciate everyone stopping in. And I want to tell you about, I'm in my other store right now. I have another store next door and everything where all the stuff that next door in the last video, if you've seen it, had come over this way. No, it went over from this way to that way and everything. And all that stuff came over here. That's why I'm in a big old blunder of trying to do all this stuff I'm getting to do and everything. But like, if you look over here, we've got it cleared out pretty empty in here and everything. I've got Dollar General stuff that I do half price on that stuff. And we got dollar stuff down here. I got thousands of video games down here for $1 each that we're going to start bundling out and get rid of. And we got dollar stuff and everything. And I'm just trying to find myself, so if anyone has any good tips for me on how to do things and how I should be doing things, I'm going to try to pay more attention to my comments and everything. I just blind and everything because like my niece was on there, she says hi, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just talking, didn't even notice and everything because I have a big mouth. My daughter used to tell him we used to go out and everything, we do all kinds of stuff. As you can see, that this spot here is about 1,500 square foot. It goes to the back here and it goes around there, and then we got another 1,500 square foot on the back half. That's another apartment and everything. It's really nice, which hopefully once I get that cleaned out, we can do some other stuff over there, maybe do some cooking and all kinds of stuff and just have a good old time and everything. I just want to get to know y'all, let you get to know me and everything. So I appreciate you stopping in and everything. But a lot of people wonder how I built this up with no money and everything, because once I took my 401 out and I spent it on this building for my down payment and the little bit of fixtures I got, and I bought like $2,000 worth of shelving from Walmart and everything in the little packages, put it together and everything. But years later, I realized you can get into auctions and everything. Watch for them supply auctions and everything. If you really want to do a store, it's a lot harder nowadays than it was back in the day, because back in the day, there wasn't all this internet and everything else that was taken away from it. So nowadays, if you want to get stuff, though, you look for businesses going out of business, like this stuff here. These racks here, I bought these. It's a 20-foot rack. It's got slat wall on both sides and everything. And I think we paid $250 for the whole thing. And if you bought that new, there's no way you could get that for $250. And that had the shelves. It had hooks and everything else with it. But a lot of them companies have gone out of business. Like back when Blockbuster was going out of business, we got a lot of shelving from there. And I've sold Sam Goody's shelving. I've had all kinds of different shelving from different stores and everything. And so that stuff really helps out. Like I got shopping carts from all kinds of different businesses that have remodeled and everything, and they throw their carts into the trash. They don't even care. Like I did a remodel for one business, and they took all the shelving, all the carts, everything, threw it away. Tools, everything, threw it away. Then when we put the store back together, they ordered in the same stuff because they get a tax write-off for all that stuff. This little guy here, we don't get as much of a tax write-off because we're not as sneaky about it, I guess. I don't know, and everything. So you just have to know where to get your stuff and everything. Like storage units. Storage unit auctions were the best thing you could go to. You could get all kinds of cool stuff. You could go in and you could buy a 10 by 20 unit for $300. Now they got it online, and that same unit is going for $900, and you still don't know what's in it and everything. But I'd like to get back into that and everything, and then we could do some reveal videos and everything and go to the auctions and do all kinds of stuff. Because if you look out here, I'll even show you outside what we have out here. Out here, I don't know if you can see it, but I got tables that fill a bag for $1 out there and everything. I've got another room over here where I used to have DVDs and everything, where we're going to put VHS and everything. So, to get products, you can go to wholesale pallet places and everything. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's hard to make money off of them anymore. Because back in the day, I would buy a Gaylord for about $500. And a Gaylord, you say, what's a Gaylord? A Gaylord is a box that's about 4 foot tall, 4 foot wide, maybe some 3.5, whatever. But it's stacked with stuff. They just throw it in there, all kinds of stuff. And we get electronics and everything else, and we made a killing off the electronics. I mean, we remodeled all our apartments upstairs from the money from those pallets and everything. So, I mean, that worked out pretty good for us and everything. But lately we got in, because everyone's been getting in on the pallets and everything. And so we tried it again, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you got home repair pallets and everything, Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff like that. We did pretty good on that stuff. The only problem is the Lowe's ones, you get a little bit more trashier stuff and everything, and the Home Depot ones, you get better stuff, but you're going to pay a lot more. So it just all depends on what you want. That's like I buy a bunch of the Dollar General pallets. It's all new stuff. You get it dirt cheap. I think it's like average $550 a pallet. And if you have a tax license, you don't have to pay tax on that. So that's pretty cool too. So that'll save you a lot of money right there. I don't know why this thing is off and why I'm off to the side, because every time I try to get centered with it, my thing got cracked. There we go. Now we're a little bit more on instead of it going sideways and everything, except for now I just opened something up on here. There we go. Now I'm back to it. Like you can tell I'm a new guy to this. But Dollar General pallets, yeah, I get a lot of people when I advertise and everything. They're like, oh my God, you've been picking the dumpsters, because you can go to their dumpsters and you can find a lot of cool stuff. Do I have time for that? No, I don't. So we buy the pallets and everything, and we sell it for half the price it's marked on it and everything. And let's see, swipe right to see the comments. Okay, and I don't see anything yet. I need to pay attention to the comments, because that's one thing I'm having a hard time with, keeping up with the questions and everything. So if you have a question on what's the best stuff to get and all that, I can tell you all kinds of stuff. Sometimes you get on Marketplace and you look for bulk stuff. Like I found T-shirts on there where you can get them for, you can buy the whole bulk and you get them for like 25 cents a T-shirt. I remember back when I did the T-shirts and everything, we bought a whole semi-load of T-shirts, and I still have about 15 to 20,000 of them shirts. But we were printing our own shirts for a while there. And like I said, this is Screaming Red Mutiny from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And check it out. You know, Sprout the Anti-Hero is the lead singer. He also was in King Shifter and everything, if you like metal and everything. But to get your best quality of stuff, garage selling used to be the best thing. I haven't been out to do the garage selling as much as I used to, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can find at garage sales, because a lot of these people, they don't even care. They just want it out of their way. They're making their money at work and everything. So people are like, oh no, you can't do that, man, because you're taking away from them. A lot of these people, now you can read a person. If they really don't know, work with them. Give them a fair thing, you know. Don't just try to take advantage of people. But I remember I'd go to garage sales and they'd have like bins of video games, which you can't even find anymore. But they'd have bins of video games and be like, hey, how much for this? They're like $100 for all of it. I'm like, well, it's a 50-50 shot. Either I'm going to make it or I'm going to break it. That's like a lot of these dollar games. I used to get 10 to 20,000 of the PS1 games in, PS2, all that cool stuff, 360, all kinds of stuff. And that's the other way we made our money to build up to where we are today. Business is not like it used to be, so it's rough. You've got to make sure you get a great location. And everyone's like, well, you should be in Tulsa because you could make so much more money. You are correct. I could make so much more money if I was in Tulsa and not in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. The problem is both my buildings are paid off. I've got 7 apartments and 3 storefronts. The big storefront over next door has been turned into 1 storefront, so we don't have all that. But if I was going to rent something like this, I'd be paying $6,000 a month. I don't even make $6,000 a month and everything, because I have slowed down. I don't do as much as I used to, and I don't trust a lot of people to run things for me. If I did, it'd be a lot different and everything. So I just try to do the best I can and keep up with it. So, like, if you want to get another place to get fixtures, is go to the scrapyard. That's where I got all my shopping carts. I went to the scrapyard, and I think he charged like 99 cents a pound or something like that. And if you work with them, because I think I pay 50 cents a pound, because I'm like, I'm not paying that much for all that stuff, because I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't use it, it's probably coming back here. And a lot of it did. But I made good money off of that type stuff, because I get the rolling rack. Because when they redid this one store up here, I got rolling racks, I got shopping carts, I had peg hooks, thousands of peg hooks and everything else. And I think I paid $100 for all that stuff and everything. When Kmart closed out, I went and got the fixtures there, and we bought all the fixtures in the holding row and everything. And I think we bought all that stuff for $2,000 from the one store. And that's what I have in my back store. I also have it behind me. This is the Kmart stuff and everything. And then we have some other ones from another Kmart. I think I paid, I want to say $400 for all 3 of the rows there and everything. And it's the easiest stuff to put together and everything. So if you watch for going out of business sales and everything, you'll find the cool stuff you need to find and everything. It's just, you got to look for it and everything. You don't know what's out there and everything. But back in the day, we had to research a lot more and everything. Now you get online, you can find everything. The problem is you can't find the deals that you wanted. Like I would get on eBay and I would look for stores going out of business, and I would buy video stores going out of business all day long. And we went to Michigan, we went to Georgia, we went to Utah. I mean, we went all over picking this stuff back. We went to Texas. I mean, it was some of the coolest stuff you'd ever find, because when I was buying these stores, I was buying the whole lot. Like the one in Chicago, it wasn't Chicago, it was right outside Chicago. I think we paid, this is my first one, and I think we paid $800, and I thought, oh man, I got a great deal, you know, and we filled up the truck and we got it. And it wasn't even that much stuff, but it was because we got like thousands of DVDs with it and everything else. And they had a pizzeria and they went out of business. So I got that stuff, and I thought that was a great deal. No, that wasn't a great deal. Then I went to Texas, and I bought that whole thing out. No one wanted the wood racks and everything. Everyone wanted the metal racks. This was probably about 15 years ago, at least, if not 18 years ago. We went down to Texas, and we got neon lights. They're like, take it all. We want it all gone. We got Blow Up Mickey. We got movies after movies after movies. You should have seen us coming back from Texas. We looked like the Beverly Hillbillies, because back then I didn't have an enclosed trailer. We just had a trailer that had these racks on it, and we put all the wood racks in there and everything else, and we load this sucker down. And like back when we really originally started and everything, we would go to different auctions, and we looked like the Beverly Hillbillies then, really looked like it, because I would stack 4 to 6 couches on top of each other. Then we had all this other furniture and everything, but I realized I don't want to do furniture. You know, nowadays you really don't want to do furniture because you have to deal with the bed bugs and everything else, so you got to spray it. But there is some good chemicals out there that kills that stuff. You just got to keep on it and everything. But you don't even want that in your store, so I just don't do a lot of furniture and everything just because I don't want to. I grew up in a military family, and so we were on the base, so they always sprayed our house. We didn't have to worry about bugs and all that stuff. I mean, you might see one of them big old cockroaches once in a while, them German ones, and everything dead on the ground after they sprayed one, you know, where now you go over to people's houses around here, and some of them have them, and you get stuff, and they're like, oh, I want to sell this to you. It's full of cockroaches. I can't take it. I can't do anything with it, because even if they're dead, that will infest your store. So when I got video game systems, I would spray the back of them with the roach spray and everything, because back in the day, we had an infestation. And it was right next to our counter. And it was crazy because I didn't really know anything about roaches. Didn't really have too much going on and everything. And I don't know what the lightning bolt is, but I appreciate it, Wesley. I'm still learning all this. So that's pretty cool. I really do appreciate that. That's cool and everything. Really do appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I'd like to answer them. I need to pay attention here a little bit more. I'm glad I saw that and everything. I thought that was pretty cool because no one's ever done that before. So that was pretty cool. But if you have questions about business or what I've gone through and the trouble I've gone through, and I have gone through some trouble because, you know, back when we were doing the flea markets and everything, and I had people sitting here at the store, I would blow out tire after tire after tire and everything. And my friends would give me so much crap because they'd be like, you got too much weight on that trailer. I'm like, yeah, but I'm selling it, man. But I'm also paying for it back in the day. I remember one time I had my BMW X5 and I had a 5x7 trailer. And I don't know why I didn't have a padlock on it, but some smarty went through and clicked it up. So when I was going past in Oklahoma City, past Tinker Air Force Base, all of a sudden I hit a bump and my trailer went shooting past me. And I'm going down the road and I'm like, oh my God, the trailer's passing us. The kids are like, uh-huh. And I'm like, well, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. We pulled over and it went off the side and smacked the thing. And the whole trailer kind of went and everything. It was enclosed. We had thousands of movies. We had electronics and all kinds of stuff in there. And good thing we had a car behind us following, because we get out and everything, and everyone's like standing there, 8 of us, and they're like, what do we do? I'm like, we can pick it up and let's get it out of the road. So we get it out of the road and everything. But the problem is the hitch ground itself off and everything. But that's not the stupidest thing that happened that night. I took, straps, and I wrapped that sucker. And I wrapped it up real good, real tight and everything so we get home. Just got to make sure we don't do a lot of turning and everything, because if not, we're going to lose that trailer again. And I almost did until I figured out how to do this. Well, my dumb, and everything, we were also low on inventory. And I had to get to Tennessee to get that inventory. But I did not have time to fix this trailer. So my smart idea was, I'm going to drive down here and I'm not going to make real wide turns so it don't bust them straps and everything else. And I made it all the way there and all the way back with my son. And I have done a lot of stupid trips like that, but you have to know what you're driving and what you're doing, because I don't recommend it and everything. But when times are hard, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. I remember like coming back from Texas just about 4 or 5 years ago when me and my wife were out there. I was alone, and I blew out my brakes, and I just had to keep feeding brake fluid into it and everything. And I don't recommend it, because if didn't know what I was doing, I could have killed some people. So I don't recommend you doing stupid stuff like that. That's like, I remember one time I was coming back from Oklahoma City, and I blew out all 4 of the tires on the trailer. Now, and I didn't have any spares left because I kept popping them and everything. So I actually had my axle strapped up and 2 more tires. And what's ironic about this is when the last one went, it just ground down the thing. But the other one didn't have any rim on it anyway. So the highway patrol pulls up, and he's like, "Wow, you rode the wheels right off this trailer, didn't you?" And I'm like, there was no wheels on those other 2, but okay, we're going to go with that and everything. And he's like, "Well, good luck. Hopefully you get everything figured out." I did. It was horrible, because I had to go and get new tires, and I had to unhook the trailer, and we had a big old downpour coming down all over the place. And I was trying to get it up under the overpass. I didn't make it under the overpass. It stopped right before it, and it sunk into the mud and everything. So I had to have a tow truck come pull it up over the thing and everything, just so I could get the wheels back on. And then I had to sit there and replace the axle and everything else that I messed up and everything. And the worst part about that is, that's not the first time I put an axle on a trailer out in the middle of the road. I had another time where I had to put the axle on a trailer because I was headed to the flea market, and it went all over. So we literally had to take both axles off the trailer, get some bricks, put it up at the gas station. We did this. I went in and I told him, I said, "Hey, at the truck stop," I said, "I got to fix my axles. You have any problem with that?" "No, we don't." So I took a friend out there, and we pulled them off. We put the new axles on, and we got it running. And I have beat the heck out of that trailer. I still have that trailer sitting in my backyard. I don't really use it as much anymore and everything. But I'm like, "Hey, anyone wants it for $2,000? They can have it." Everyone's like, "Oh, it's beat to hell." Of course it's beat to hell. Last time I really used it for the flea market, we were going to Oklahoma City, and those big old round water tanks they have for cattle and everything, I had one of them in the middle of the road. And I blinked, I saw it, and I went to turn, and the corner of the thing caught it, snapped it, and whipped us all the way around, flipped the trailer off the truck and everything else. So then, of course, we have the highway patrol coming. All our stuff is all over the highway, because the back of the doors of that gated trailer, it wasn't a covered enclosed, but it was a gated. And all the stuff was all over the highway. So I'm like trying to dodge stuff, try to pick it up. I mean, I had games, I had jewelry, you name it, it was in there. Hot Wheels everywhere, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, my heart broke when it happened. I mean, I was ready for this big old Christmas, because my wife's down in Texas. I'm like, I'm going to make some money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I almost destroyed the trailer and everything else. Well, then I was like, "Hey, how much is it to take this to my house?" Because it sheared off both sides of the axles and everything. So you couldn't put no wheels on it. And he's like, "It's going to cost you $500 just to run out there." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do that." "Well, we can't do that. We're going to have to take it to the yard, blah, 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 and everything." Why? They gave me all this and everything. And it was only $200, supposedly, to tow it. Well, I went to pick it up the next day, and he's like, "Well, with everything we did right there, it would be $1,200 to take it to your house, plus the $500 for us bringing it here and everything. Or you can pay us the $500, I think it's $500 or $600 to pick it up." And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So I had to pay him the $600. I mean, he worked with me. I gave him $300 down, and then he had to pay out the $300. But I gave it to my insurance company, where they only covered $200, but they covered the whole thing. And he let me actually fix the axles right there at his house, so I could get it up and going, because he had his tow yard there. So, I mean, that helped out. But he's like, "Oh, the state says I have to charge this." Bull crap, man. Your greed says you have to charge that. He screwed me out of $400 extra, which, like I said, my insurance paid it. But that's just not cool, the way people do that to people anymore. And it happens all the time anymore. So if you're out there and you're doing a business, try to be fair with people, work with them. Because that was pretty crooked. And then he blames it on the state saying they have to charge a minimum. I don't believe that. And if you guys are into towing and you know that is true, I know they can't charge over a certain amount, but there's no minimum they have to charge, as far as I know. But there's some adventures I've had, stuff like that. I remember one time we went up to Michigan, and my grandfather lived up there, and we went up there, and I had another trailer. This was the trailer before the caged one that just had side brackets I had put on it, and the axle had bent and everything, and we had lost the wheel. And so we took it off and put it up, strapped up the wheel. And we were light stuff. It was just those metal racks and everything like we have in here. And so it wasn't nothing big deal and everything. But my grandfather, after we loaded down, and this about killed me and my friend. I mean, we were just going at it. Because we got there and we had 24 hours to clean out this thing. They locked us in there and we just went to town on it and did it. Just like a lot of the other places. They just, okay, here you go. Don't let anyone in the building. Clear it out. Have a nice day. And so we do that and everything. But I remember I got it all back to my grandfather's. He says, no, that's not how this is going to go. You need to replace that axle because that's not safe. Which he was right. It wasn't safe. And so we replaced the axle. He taught me. That's one thing my grandfather did. He never did things for me. He always showed me how to do it. So I've learned a lot of stuff. And so I do a lot of my own maintenance. I do a lot of this. I do a lot of that. And I take care of a lot of my stuff because that's the only way to make it in a small business like this. You got to watch your overhead big time because it don't matter. You're going to be spending money on this. You're going to be spending money on that. It's going to cost you a fortune. So we got that wheel fixed and everything, and we made it back and everything. But we've had so many close calls with so many things and everything. And so, main thing is if you're going to be traveling and you got to go pick up your stuff, be safe and everything. I've gone to pick up a lot of different stuff and everything, and it works out and everything, but it's harder and harder to find that stuff on the internet. Hopefully I gave you guys some ideas of where to get some stuff for your store and everything. And if you all have any questions, it's always great to ask because I would love to answer them and everything. So I don't know. We've got add live, goal. I don't know what that is. Level up blast. I don't know what that is either. I'm still learning all this stuff. So, that's how it is. But I'm going to end this here. And y'all have a great day. I appreciate y'all stopping in. And I hope you enjoy my stories. I'll get a little more comfortable with it and tell you a lot more about stuff that's happened in the store and everything else. Because, back in the day, we'd be like, oh, we need to put cameras and do it live and all that stuff in the store and everything else. Now everyone's gone and they living their lives and everything and getting older and everything. And now I'm just doing it myself and everything. It's kind of boring, because at least if someone was here, they could bounce off, like my wife. If she was here, it'd be a little bit more fun. But it is what it is. But I'm slowly going to take you through how we get everything cleaned up. And my goal is, like I said, the 1st of April to have it where we got to start getting new stuff in and packing it out and everything. Because I just got to do a few things here and there and everything once we get cleaned up and we're ready. Because right now I'm trying to get all these movies that we need to recase, get them all emptied out. We got, I think, 800 more I got to decase. And then we got 2,000 more we got to recase. Once we get them out of the way, I'm going to get them on the shelves. Then I'm going to start taking, and my wife's going to get the clothes on the rack, stuff like that. But then I'm going to start getting everything, get the rest of the shelving put together, get this put together, and pretty much clean out all the stuff I don't. Excuse me, heartburn there. Get all that put together, and so slowly you'll get to see how we put a store together with only 2 people, pretty much. Once in a while I'll have friends help or someone will come help, but generally me and my wife are on our own doing this, and we're okay with that because we've had too many things stolen and all that other stuff. So y'all have a great day, and come back and see me for our next live and everything. We appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully I can teach y'all stuff. Hopefully we'll come up with some questions for everyone and all that other stuff. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe and come back and see me and everything. Have a great one.